welcome to the Netflix Watch Club. Today joining me is a very special guest who has her own podcast. Her name is Candice Rijavec. Welcome, Candice. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Great. Today she's joining us in a themed podcast for the horror genre on Netflix, which is pretty exciting because if you know me and you know the club, you know I'm a big fan of horror, but not a lot of the club is. So I actually created a secondary account called Netflix Spooks, where we post about all the horror and awesomeness of it on Netflix. So Candice is joining us today, where she's gonna help me discuss, or we're gonna go over our favorite horror titles on Netflix. And the main topic of discussion will obviously be the recent TV series that was added to Netflix, Dead Places. Okay, so Candice, over to you. Why do you love horror? Or why do you enjoy watching horror?
To be honest, and I know this is going to sound very strange to quite a few people, but I see a lot of humor in horror because it's so exaggerated and predictable. I mean, the one thing that I still can't wrap my mind around is you can see something coming, you know exactly what's going to happen, especially since it's been done time and time again. But you're bracing yourself, you know what's coming, and you still get afraid.
Why do they go into the dark places? Like you can hear a sound coming from there. The lights are automatically or magically just going off, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna walk into that place right now and go and find the switch. Like, seriously.
I know, and especially when, someone says, don't go there, or don't turn around, don't look, and that's exactly what the other person will do. I mean...
You are so right, but I think that's one of the reasons I also love horror. It's not like anime or the other things, the geek stuff that I love, where you can say it's like the dialogue and the characters and the amazing plots. It's nothing like that. It's just horror is just, like you said, so exaggerated, and you're just the whole time laughing that these people can't figure it out. It's like, what's that one thing that they do?
Or did you accidentally see a ghost behind you or something?
Oh, yes. Thank you. You see, this is why I need a co-host, because I always get off point. No, it was the thing that I was telling you, that how I find ghosts and things like that funny. Not because necessarily I don't really believe in it. I think if there was a ghost, we would have known about it by now. But it's like what I told you on WhatsApp, where my aunt was telling me, that she sees ghosts at the hospital that she works because she's the head nurse there. And I'm like, let's take me. I want to go there and see them. I'll wait up till 12 o'clock at night. I'll go see. And if there is a ghost there, I'll go walk up to them and be like, hey, hello, how are you? Are you a ghost? That's literally me, because...
That's also sort of rude of you, because you didn't even mention that you're bringing some coffee or something to snack on. I mean, they've been standing there the whole day. I mean,
you want to be polite to the ghost. You want to be polite to the... I'm telling her that the scariest thing for me would be like some kind of deranged patient in real life that's standing there in the corner, and then they come running at you with a pair of scissors or something. That's freaky. But not like a ghost, because like in all these movies, the ghosts are just dropping pots and pans and they're like barely doing anything to the people. It's like not like they're making like ghost scars along your back or something, or breaking your arms. It's like they just throw pans and pots and switch lights on and off this way and that way. No, believe me, I'm there with you. I do the same.
And look, I will say that there is the odd horror movie that I'm dead quiet in. Excuse the pun, but I'm completely quiet because there's a lot of scenarios that I can see truth to it, and there is truth to it. But with the vast majority of movies, I'm almost crying with tears. I'm just
exactly
laughing.
Like you said, it's so predictable. You're like, I've watched this plot a million times. I've watched this plot a million times.
But also, have you noticed, when things will happen at the exact timing? Like, for example, the ghost will just happen to appear once someone has, registered that there's a ghost in the house. Meantime, the ghost has been there for weeks and months.
But only now. They get active.
Now they're being terrorized by this ghost. So that for me doesn't make sense. I mean, there's a lot of too many sudden coincidences, if you would like to say, in inverted commas there. I mean, why now all of a sudden is this a scare factor when it was there all along?
Yes.
It didn't do you harm before.
But there's so many people that can't stand it. There's so many people that just cannot watch a horror movie, or if they do, they're like screaming their guts out.
I know a lot of those people.
I will say this though: the scariest things comes with the sound. If I'm watching it on my laptop or my PC screen or whatever, I've still got that VLC thing where you can skip a little. So it's like I'm not really paying attention to the sound, and I'm not like sort of living in that sound the way that you would if you were watching it like straightforward. So when you watch it, especially in the cinema, and there's all that build up and things, and then suddenly there's like this loud ass noise from nowhere, then it it gives you that involuntary action, whether you are really scared or not. You still like jump and you're still like, holy shit.
I looked up and I know what was going on in the movie.
Exactly.
But I was scared.
Okay, so let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. What was the one movie that actually got you scared, if there is one? Like, what was the one thing that you actually found like horrific or horror, like really that was like proper horror?
I think I would definitely say, whenever I think of the most, I would definitely say Ouija, the movie.
Is it the Ouija board?
Yeah, that came out quite a few years ago, and I was dead quiet through that movie.
That's such a funny name, though. Like the way that it's spelled. It's so crazy that it's spelled Ouija. Like, how does that translate to Ouija? It's so weird.
And I still had to think how to pronounce it before I said it.
I would have said Oja board. Oja.
A lot of people do.
Actually, that is on Netflix now. That is on Netflix now. So if anyone wants to go check out Candice's recommendation of the number one horror film that scared her, would be the Ouija board, or I think it's just called Ouija. Oh, Ouija. I'm saying Ouija. For me, it was The Ring. Right, that movie, because I live on my screen, I live on my screen. So to see some chick, and especially some chick you can't even see her face with, it's just hidden in hair, that's like crawling in like this freaky, horrific way, like this contorted way towards your screen, and then coming out of the damn screen. Damn, that scared me the hell out, man. That was like the number one scary thing for me.
I have something very mean to say to you right now.
What? Oh, you're gonna give me nightmares tonight, Chance. That is so freaky. Okay, just do it one more time. Just do it one more time. Give everyone at home a good year of that. Damn, now they're gonna think this chick is gonna come out of their podcast while they're listening.
If anything, I'll be Casper the Friendly Ghost.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would still go up to a ghost. I would still go up to a ghost and have like a friendly chat. I wouldn't really be like, oh, I'm so scared of you just because you look freaky,
But also, pure logic is, if the ghost is there, why do you want to scare it? Because ultimately, it's going to then retaliate and scare you.
Yeah.
Who would have the upper hand? They can go through walls. So, I'd rather be friendly would be my first go-to, because, rather, better safe than sorry.
Yes. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the recent addition to Netflix. We're also going to talk about another TV series that's on Netflix that Candice and I both love. But first, we're going to talk about Dead Places. Candice actually watched it. I just watched the trailer. Oh my god, it looks crazy awesome. The graphics and the production or level of this thing, and it's South African, is crazy. It's awesome. I love it that this is a horror. And I'm kicking myself that I didn't watch it yet. It looks amazing. Okay, let's just go over the synopsis. So the synopsis is: an author who has dedicated his career to solving paranormal cases returns home to South Africa to investigate the biggest mystery of his life, his sister's death in a water canal 20 years ago. It stars Anthony Osayemi and Shamala Muller. I hope I got that name right. Osayemi.
You probably butchered it.
Yeah. I'm so sorry I butchered that, guys. I'm not good with surnames, man. But yeah, let's just go with Anthony. He's a famous actor. He is. And Shimala, right? He started his career in the youth theater. And yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff since. I've seen him on a lot of cool stuff. I think he was even on Shadow, which is like an awesome TV series that
Yeah,
I
I
love.
think he was. He's really good, eh? He
I love
is an
Shadow.
awesome actor.
Yes, okay, so Candice, let's start with you, right? So why don't you tell us about your experience watching Dead Places and sort of give everyone a brief overview of what the series is about?
Okay, well, first of all, when I watched the trailer and, you know, you get the line that says there, you know, this author is going to explore all these places in South Africa, all these supernatural, horrific, terrifying places.
Yes.
Now, this is the point where I personally knew I was not quite normal. And my first thought was, I want to go with. Can I go with? And I mean,
But he's a
naturally,
vlogger. That's the best part about vlogging. It's like you find your people. You find your people that want to follow you into all these places and these awesome things.
I know, and a lot of people would say to me, you know, would you really go with? And my response would be, you know, please, it was probably my idea to begin with. You know, I mean,
Oh, we should totally do that though. We should totally go check out all these places Will went to.
Well, you know what? I definitely would go because even my own aunt, I mean, she has been to, I think she said it was the Kempton Park Hospital that was haunted. I mean, I think this runs in the family. You know,
there was this haunted, what was it, like a haunted, I think it was a haunted hospital tour that I wanted to go on recently. I always wanted to go check that out.
Yeah, apparently there was suicides and all sorts that happened in that hospital.
Mm.
And when people went to it, they could feel that, you know, you better start running because things were not kosher there.
I would love to go to a place like that. Wouldn't you love to go to a place like that? I'd go check in every dark nook and corner. I'd be like, guys, just come on, let's just go check out that dark corner quickly. They'll be like, no. And I will take someone that screams really loud because I want to hear that. You want to hear them get scared out of their mind and be like, ah. Yeah, you and I will be the ones leading the group. We'll be right there in the front, be like, let's go, guys. Let's go to this corner there. Oh, wait, I think I heard a sound in that dark corridor down there. Why don't we go down there?
Done that as well.
But he's a horror writer, right? He's like a writer that he's a horror writer. So I mean he has to do it. That's his like brand, you know. He has to scare them. Okay, but what I've gotta ask is, because I kind of got this feel from the series so far. Is it like a dude that can see dead people? Is it like that whole scene from what was that movie called with Bruce Willis and the little kid, and he's like, I see dead people. Sixth Sense, yes, that's the one. And he's like, I see dead people. Is that what Will can do? Can he see dead people?
Well, throughout all the episodes, actually, when it comes to ghosts and spirits, all of the people there can actually see the dead people.
Oh, okay, so it's not just Will.
But I have to say there is an interesting twist to Will's character, which I quite haven't figured out, which is very intriguing.
Oh, great, because I was going to be like, no spoilers yet, please. We all others still want to watch it too. No, but like I said, I mean, I don't find like that I'm gonna be unsafe in like a horror site or something, you know. There is that odd feeling, you know, if I'm like sometimes I wake up and I work out at like 4:00 in the morning, you know, when the sun and when there's no light, and it's just the front yard, it's just the backyard lights, and like when I'm doing those stepping things, it's like, you know, you get that little chill in the back of your neck and you're like, you can't see what the hell's behind you. And then I'm like, okay, so I rush through my workout and I don't even look back and I just run in and close the door. And I'm like, I just kick myself because I'm like, I laugh at this shit, but then I'm running inside the house and closing the door.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if I had to come face to face with something like that standing in front of me, I know I laugh about it, I joke about it, but what would I ultimately do if, you know, it was actually there in front
what
of
if
me?
it was like the ring chick then seriously, I wouldn't even chance it. I'd like run. I'll be gone. I'll be like on the next flight out of South Africa. But if it's like another chill ghost, I'll be like, yo, what's up? How's things going? But
Yeah,
not
but
the
then
ring
I
chick,
think,
man.
Cat-
Don't
Casper
even mess
is
me.
kind of
Don't
retarded
even
now.
mess with me with the ring chick. I will be gone. I'll be freaked out. It'll be like those old cartoons we used to watch. You know when the skeleton like is left behind and they're gone. It's kind of like that. Like my and then there'll be like a Enrico shaped hole in the door with me like right through it. That's literally
Oh
if I
my
see the
gosh.
ring chick. She's
No,
just too
I
freaky
mean,
for me,
I
man.
don't. I know there is always a particular scene that does freak me out if it's in a horror movie. You know when you
Yes.
get this person, and they always like to use a woman or a girl.
Yeah, and
they're
a
lying on
little
their
girl.
backs, but
What is
suddenly
up with
their
them and
limbs
little
will-
girls?
Yeah, their limbs will turn inside out or backwards.
What?
And they
Yes,
lift
like
up
the
on all fours and they
Exorcist,
start running.
like the Exorcist. Come on, that
Yeah.
scene coming down the stairs. That was freaky as hell. Nobody's ever gonna forget
Yeah, if
that
I saw
scene.
that, I'm gone, eh?
Exactly.
I would be
It's
gone if
always
I
those
saw that.
contortionist things. It's always those contortionist things. And what about? Did you see that they had a prank that they did? And I love horror pranks. They are the most fun thing to watch. I actually love watching that on Netflix. They've got prank
Yeah.
encounters, and they've got one with the Stranger Things star. So they've got
Oh, yeah.
those two, and I love watching it. So there was this one prank that they did with the Samsung TVs at the store. So they had the ring chick
Yeah.
actually like come out of the
Oh,
Samsung
God.
TV, and she was a contortionist.
Oh my god.
You should have seen these guys
Oh.
react. I swear, if I had to go buying a TV, I'd be ruined for life. I'll need like psychological treatment. They'll have to get like a psychologist and a psychiatrist to like med me up and everything, because that'll be too traumatic. Imagine you're just standing there. You think this is the greatest day of your life. You're buying a TV. It's awesome. You have the money for it, and then suddenly this chick is like right there by your legs, and she's like pulling on your legs. No. Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this: Have you watched the Conjuring series, the movies?
Oh yes.
How did you find that?
Yes,
That's
I
actually on
definitely-
Netflix too, The Conjuring. So if you want to watch that, Candice, how did you find The Conjuring? Because that's like the number one rated horror movie in the world. You know that, right? Like right now, like in recent times, everybody just adores that movie. How did you find it?
Yeah, because it's pretty close to real life. Although I think it was.
Yeah,
number
because it's
one,
based
but
because
I
it's
had
based on
a
the
couple
life of
questions about-
a couple that's
Yeah.
it's based on the life of a couple of that researched the supernatural and did interviews and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was number one. As far as I remember, I had a few questions that didn't, for things that didn't quite add up. But number two, oh my gosh, I was quiet. I was on edge. I was.
Really? Wait, number
I actually
two?
slept that
Number
night, to
two
be
was the
honest.
one. Was number two the one with the nun?
Oh, sure. To be honest, it was a long time ago since I saw it. I think.
Yeah, I think it was the
maybe
one with the nun.
I
It was the
remember
one.
seeing the
It was the one with the London family, and it was the one where where she had to figure out the name of the nun. You know, like the
yes,
demon's
and there was
name.
That old man.
The old man.
Yeah, I think there was. Oh,
Oh, yeah. The old
you
man.
know what is-
Oh, yeah. The old man was
Yeah.
creepy, man. Oh. But then you find out that the nun was really behind the whole thing, and she actually got her own movie and everything, man.
Yeah.
But The Conjuring,
no,
but that's how
but,
powerful The Conjuring is, because
Conjuring is good.
in the first movie they had the Annabelle doll, and that became a movie on its own,
Okay.
because the Annabelle doll was so scary to everybody that they had to make it its own movie.
Yeah.
Is
I
Annabelle
think,
is
I
Annabelle
don't know
on
what-
Netflix? Let's just check. Annabelle.
I know a couple of series.
Holy crap, it's on
like to
Netflix.
use the Annabelle doll.
Okay,
And
guys,
I-
so you all should
I keep
watch.
saying this
You all
dog
should
is
watch
better.
The Conjuring, and then thereafter watch Annabelle, which is about a possessed doll. Oh, what about Chucky? They've got Chucky on here. Tell me you've watched Chucky.
Oh no. Chucky, honestly, Chucky made me not like dolls. The same with it. I
Oh.
cannot stand any. I'm paranoid, to be honest.
Actually,
I'm paranoid when it comes
it
to
wasn't
clowns.
scary for me, because it was kind of like one of these fantasy books that I love, where there's like a group of kids and then they overcome the evil baddie at the end. So that's how it kind of felt
I
like
don't
an
think I
adventure
lasted
to
that
me.
long in the movie.
It kind of felt like an adventure
I
for
didn't
me.
last that long in the movie to see them overcome it. I was gone.
But Chucky is like such a Chucky is like such an iconic sort of figure in horror, you know, when we were growing up, and not so much now. I mean, I don't think the latest Chucky would really scare anybody. It didn't really feel like that. But the OG Chucky, where he's like doing that spell, and he's like, "Ade do it, Dumbella." Oh no, some bad shit is gonna go down now.
No.
And then the thing with dolls, is like they like sitting in one corner. Then you turn your head and you look back, and then the hand is moved, or the neck is moved, and you're like, "Oh shit." That's what's
and then
freaky.
A few days later, when you're in your house, you see something move.
Yeah, or in the corner of your eye, or you left the doll in the corner, and then suddenly it's on the couch in the living room. You know?
Yeah, no. Look, to be honest, with Chucky and Ed, I was very young when I first watched it. Didn't last through either of those movies because it scarred me for life.
Do you know what my cousins used to do? They used to hold my head, because it used to play at 11 o'clock, and they used to babysit me. So they used to hold my head while it was playing, so that I wouldn't turn, and they'd make me watch it. They'd even like try and open my eyelids. That's what they would do. It was like torture. They'd make me watch, and then I'd have like nightmares about Chucky and Freddy Krueger.
That's what you call family love, right?
Yeah, exactly. For them, that's playtime. That's playtime for them.
Let's scar you for life, and you won't sleep for the next month.
Oh, the dreams the nightmares that I had after that, man, it was so freaky. I want to talk about one of the most beautiful horrors that I've ever watched was and I know you don't really use that adjective with horror, but it was called Before I Wake. Have you watched that?
No, I don't think I've seen it.
You've got to see it.
I haven't watched that many horrors because I end up having nightmares.
No, well, okay, this one, like I said, it's got the beautiful attachment to it. So, it's not like so strictly, okay, it is a horror at the end of the day, but it was beautiful for me. So what happens is there's this, you've got to watch it, okay, and I don't want to give away too much, but it's basically about this kid who has like these psionic powers. When he sleeps, whatever he dreams about comes to life. So obviously he's a kid and he's got nightmares. So the beautiful thing about his ability is that if he's dreaming about like something awesome and visually dynamic, that's what manifests. That's what becomes reality.
Okay.
So you get to see that, and then obviously the movie turns on its head, and the twist is that as soon as his dream changes into a nightmare, so does reality. So that's the horror part of it. So I wouldn't want to give away anything else besides that. But oh my god, so beautiful. I mean, I love that one scene when he's dreaming. Okay, cool. So that's it for the horrors on here.
I'm gonna have to watch that one, and then I'm gonna question you on.
Okay, great. And then let's talk about
I was saying that I'm gonna watch that one.
Yes, definitely. Please do. That's my recommendation to you. You can give me a recommendation too. Do you have something?
Look, every time someone asks me for the ultimate best horror, not just movie, but the best for me, was The Haunting of Hill House.
Thank you. That was what I was going to come to next.
That was hands down the most brilliant
my god
movie/series of all time.
That was actually
not predictable in the least bit.
Yes, and that was actually what got me into Netflix. If that gives you like an indication. That was like the first thing that I had to go get Netflix to go and watch. And this is like the first major horror TV series that we've ever had in the entire world. And it was so different from the movies because it was like a slow burn kind of horror, It wasn't like every single 10 seconds you're going to have like a sound, like a bang effect, like bah.
Yeah, I mean, every time you were starting to maybe expect something, it was just a sudden twist.
Yes, exactly.
It was the official first time in my life that I've actually shouted at a TV. I mean, I would say, please give the person a break. This poor person, I mean, I was sympathizing.
And what about all the ghosts in the corners? Like, you just had watching a normal scene, and then suddenly there's like this freaky thing in the background that no one notices. I think they actually have a web page dedicated to like all the sightings in the series. Like every single scene where they.
That would be one place I wouldn't want to visit is that house. The Haunting of Hill House. I put reservations. I do not want to go. I will never go to that house. Oh my god! Just because of the series.
Like Jesus, all that stuff that happened. And what about Nelly? Nelly was like the biggest twist of all time, I think, in my opinion. I mean, like holy crap. I did not. And there's this one thing that she says in the series, when she's kind of explaining everything as a ghost, where she says, and the rest was confetti. And I just love using that in sentences now. Whenever I'm talking about something, like if I'm talking to my psychologist or something, and I'm saying, I did so and so to reach my goal, then I'll be like, and the rest is confetti. Things like that. Like if I've written a book and I'm like, okay, I'm writing a book now, and when I'm done writing it, all that other publication, getting yourself published and everything else, that's confetti for me. I just apply it to everything. I love that sentence.
But I mean, in her scenario, it was. I mean, can you even simplify it down to being confetti? I mean, wow. There were
exactly. It had so many levels.
Yeah, so it's just like, well, okay, if this is the big bang on your story, and you consider the rest is confetti, what am I missing here? Because the rest is confetti, but what?
It was too deep, man. It was too awesome. The characters. What about Theo? Right? It was Theo. Yeah, Theodora. Oh my God, she's my favorite character.
The younger twin.
Yeah, the one that broke down in like episode 8. Where she was like, she saw them all this time and she felt them all this time, and she like broke down and she was like, she always seemed like the cold-hearted one, and then she broke down and she.
I know. I actually felt like a sense of relief when she finally confessed to all of this. And I think you could also feel her sense of relief because she kept holding back and denying everything. So
but each of the siblings had so much character and so much development over the series. Even Luke, as much as I hate Luke and all the crap that he did, he had like the biggest. Oh my God, I hated him so much, but he had like the biggest character development of all of them. I just hated that, Nelly. I just hated that Nelly had to sacrifice for that. That was so unfair.
Yeah, no, look, Luke's character, especially at the end, I mean, I don't want to give away too much of the storyline, but I didn't find him irritating at all. But I mean, for me, his story or his personality was so heartbreaking and, again, at times annoying for the poor family.
No, I hear about
the end. The end was just tragic. I don't want to say too much in case anyone hasn't seen it.
Yes, exactly. But both Candice and I highly recommend The Haunting of Hill House. Please, if you have not watched it, go and watch it. It's the coolest, most awesome horror ever. Ever. In all my life, I've never enjoyed a horror in my life.
Yeah, I honestly love it so much that I've actually pleaded with people that I know to watch it so they can share in this experience. Like, be scared with me.
Yes. And I was tweeting so much at the time that Netflix actually sent me like a whole Haunting of Hill House bundle. They like sent me this Halloween jar with like cookies inside, and they were shaped like in bats and horror themed stuff. It was really cool. But yeah, I was crazy. I was telling everybody I know, I was just telling them, go and watch Haunting of Hill House.
To be honest,
The Haunting of Hill House is absolutely amazing. I loved it. I would recommend that to anybody.
That series a few times over.
Yeah, definitely. I did too. Even before Bly Manor came out, I was so excited. I watched it all over again because I was like, okay, this is gonna get me in the mood for Bly Manor. I just know in Supernatural you put out salt, So if I ever get scared of anything, I'm just gonna put salt around me, and I know that then the ghost can't touch me. Get salt like the Winchester brothers, and an iron, something that's iron, so you can whack the ghosts. That's all I know. That's what I know as the deterrent for them.
Well, this is where my weird sense of humor will kick in, and I'll say, you'll probably find a bunch of ghosts pitching up with, French fries because you put out the salt. They're coming to chow because, you're obviously catering.
You still have this kick of that we're supposed to be hospitable to a ghost. Are you crazy? It's like... Oh yeah, no, they have rights too. They have rights too, and they live in the house too, so they need to be treated like guests as well.
Unless they're there for too long, then you start demanding rent.
Yeah.
I do have a balance going there.
Hey, I'll be like, if you can walk through walls, please walk to a bank and bring us some gold bricks. Thank you.
Well, that's my argument. I mean, if you've lived here for so long, you know how to get money. Start paying rent.
That would be awesome. Like there was this one episode in I don't know if you remember Angel. It was a offshoot of Buffy the Vampire Diaries. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What am I saying? Diaries here, like Vampire Diaries. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, so anyway, Angel and Cordelia moves into this house that has a ghost, and then the ghost becomes well, the main ghost is the mother, but then the son actually becomes her like living ghost, and he's like her friend, you know, like he brings her things like a beer at the end of the day, or he switches the TV off for her. You know, so he does stuff in the apartment for her, like he even cleans at some point. And I was like, shit, I want a ghost like this. I want a ghost like this, man. Like, or you're chilling on the bed and you're like, oh, I can't reach the remote, and you're like, okay, Dennis, please get me the remote. And Dennis brings you the remote. Dennis the ghost brings you the remote. That would be so cool. It'd be like I'll have telekinesis without actually having telekinesis.
Oh no, that would be awesome. But I mean, this is what I'm saying. You know, if you're hospitable, they might do some things in return. You never know.
No, definitely. I mean, if I had Dennis as a ghost, I'd like put out, I guess, a spread for him if he does eat. I don't know where it goes. I don't know where he goes, but I'm sure if he does eat, then I'll do everything that I can to make him comfortable too. Be like, this is your place too, man.
Because then, you know, they'd recognize that they'd be personal butlers to someone. Like, I'm out of here.
Hey, if I can't get telekinesis, I have to get the next best thing, okay? And that's having a personal butler as a thing. Because if I had telekinesis, I'd be the same thing. I would be washing my car, switching the lights off, you know, flying me to like this place and that place, that kind of thing. I'll be like, yo, you can chill with me, man. Watch a TV series with me. Watch Haunting of Hill House with me.
I'd probably send him on some mischief missions. You know,
oh,
like,
yes. That was to prank everyone. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
you know, first thought that comes to mind, and I know when my aunt listens to this, she's just gonna laugh, but I would send Dennis to her.
But Dennis is the friendly ghost, man. Okay, but thank you so much, Candice, for joining me this week. It was awesome. Our horror-themed podcast is gonna be epic. But yeah, thank you so much. It's been awesome. I love talking about horror with you. We definitely need to do another podcast episode too.
I'm probably twisted for the audience who's listening.
No, it's awesome. And that's the whole point of Netflix Spooks as well. It's like, you know, we find all the horror fans that actually love this stuff. So our recommendations are the Ouija movie, Before I Wake, The Conjuring, and Annabelle, and then as well as the number one, let's say now for recent purposes, is Dead Places, because that's a new TV series on Netflix, and then the others are secondary. Definitely. And then our number one pick between Candice and I is The Haunting of Hill House. Please go and watch that if you haven't yet. If you have, then come chat with us. Jump on the Netflix Watch Club hashtag and tell us about how you love freaking.
And if you don't watch it, we're going to send Dennis there to make you watch it.
Yeah. Or you can join Candice and I for the next hospital tour, the haunted hospital tour.
I'll make my apologies in advance for anything that I do.